A day for celebration we all now know turned into tragedy. All eyes are on the courtroom this week after those gunshots rang outside of a Richmond High School graduation. You're watching 8 News at 6. I'm Deanna Albritton.
I'm Eric Phillips. It's now up to a judge and jury at this point to sift through the in-depth investigations into this case. 8 News reporter Autumn Childress joining us live from outside the courthouse. In Autumn, it's day 2 and it has been a very emotional day there.
That's right, Eric. Deanna, day 2 of this trial wrapped up around 4 o'clock. We heard from 11 witnesses today, all of them really giving us a clearer idea of the events leading up to the shooting. But yeah, as you said, certainly an emotional day in the courtroom. The very first witness we heard from this morning was Temeeka Jackson-Smith, who, as you know, lost her son and her husband that day. Now, prosecutors tonight calling this a malicious and intentional killing. Shawn's mother saying Amari Pollard, the accused gunman here, and her son, Shawn Jackson, were childhood friends. She pointed directly to Pollard in the courtroom, saying she saw him shoot her son 6 times from behind. Now, we also heard from Shawn's sister today, who says she saw some sort of altercation between her brother and another graduate before hearing those gunshots. As you know, though, one of the main questions coming into this trial was who owned the 4 guns found at the scene. We previously knew Amari Pollard owned one of them. An unrelated person had another. But we learned today that Renzo Smith did go to his car and bring 2 other guns to Monroe Park. Prosecutors, though, really driving home that those guns were never visible. Now, the defense is claiming Pollard acted in self-defense here. Pollard's attorney really focusing on body camera footage after the shooting. That body camera footage shows Pollard telling police that he was scared for his life. You could also hear Pollard say, quote, "They said they were going to kill me." He then tries to shoot himself, but that gun locks up. So again, the jury tasked with deciding if this was an intentional shooting or if this was self-defense. And for more on the defense's side, I'll send it now over to 8 News reporter Sierra Krug. Sierra.
Well, Autumn, as you said, a pivotal part of today for the defense surrounded officer body camera footage. It showed defendant Amari Pollard hugging officers following the shooting. He cried out things like, "Someone protect me," and "I thought they were going to kill me." One officer testified that Pollard tossed down his gun and appeared frantic and distraught when he ran into her arms at a nearby parking garage shortly after the shooting. At the time, the officer says she believed Pollard was in fear for his own life, so she told him to duck behind a nearby car, and he listened. A second officer joined and fought to keep Pollard in one place as the defendant cried out that he would turn himself in, but he needed someone to, quote, protect him. Now, rewinding to events before the shooting, through testimonies from Jackson's mother and multiple other witnesses, defense used their cross-examinations to emphasize that prior to any altercations, Jackson's stepfather, Renzo Smith, who was also fatally shot that day, had grabbed his and his wife's guns from the car, bringing the firearms back to the area where the graduation was being held. Jackson clarified her late husband did not bring the weapon into the theater at any point. The defense hasn't begun calling witnesses quite yet, but a reminder, their case rests heavily on a self-defense argument. They made it clear they wanted the jury to know Smith did have at least one firearm on him. Another key moment for the defense today was when one of the victim's friends took the stand. He did admit to threatening the defendant in the past, saying that he was going to make his mother cry. Stick with 8 News for updates as we continue to follow this trial. Live in Richmond, Sierra Krug, 8 News.
All right, Sierra, thanks. And our crews will be reporting directly from the courtroom, giving you the latest updates for each day of this trial. So scan the QR code that's right there on your screen for details into the investigation of this shooting. And be sure to stay with us on air and online as we work to learn more throughout this 5-day trial.